Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I am the Bardic Knock. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. We are jumping in with, I'm fairly certain this is session 41. It might be 42. I will double check. I put 41 on the stream thing. If it's different on YouTube, then hey, I got it wrong. If not, hey, it's One Piece. Wampus. After the Azure Calm. We will let the wonderful players introduce themselves. And then I will try to give a recap of last session. And words. That's everything. Alright, that's me done. Nick!
This is 41, you are correct. Hi, I'm Nick. I'm also Strider Winters everywhere on the internet. Play as Captain Mercurius Thorak, the captain of this crew of Marines.
Can I use the banner move on an enemy?
What?
What?
You have the channel points. I could spend 5,000 channel points to ban a move. Can I do that on an enemy in this game?
That's Pokemon! That's not for this!
Pokemon?
I ban you from using the move. Walk. You can't move anymore.
It says ban a move, not ban a move in that dimension exclusively.
Yeah, it says ban them on. That means monsters, right?
Stop.
No gargoyles.
I banned Sea Kings. You just go through the comm belt now.
Oh, I should really upgrade all my Twitch stuff. I've been saying
plus
that for like
1d6. I'll take that.
Yeah, you can plus 1d6.
On my ability score roll.
Nick, you were doing an intro.
Yeah, I was doing an intro. But anyway, yeah, you can find me most oftentimes here on the Bardic Knox channel, or better yet, on the Bardic Knox Discord. You can check that out in the bio. Is that what it's called down below? I don't know. The place, the thing. I have a link in the chat if you are new here and can join the server via that. You can also find me alternating Thursdays on Undead K's channel playing in a Curse of Strahd game. And then also this coming Monday, I will be here on the Bardic Knox channel playing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Knockoff Progression Season 3. We're doing 5Ds, and I'm going to be a part of that one. That's going to be great.
I'm very excited. Earlier today, before getting ready to this, I recorded the new intro vocals, and they're so fucking cringe.
They're so cringe.
I love it. It is artistry.
I really don't know what's worse, though. This one or last season's.
Oh, they're all bad. And they're gonna get worse! Look, I am proud of how cringe I can be. I consider it my crowning achievement on the internet. Because it's easier to be cringe than to be good. So...
Yeah. But, alright, that's me, though. Shogun, who are you? It's been a while.
I'm here. I'm playing as Wick today.
There we go, I
It
fixed
was
it.
a new character that we don't know anything about.
I wasn't sure where we were starting, so I had both Wick and Chum overlays for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Chum could bend space-time. This character can warp space-time.
Oh, God.
Damn thing!
Yeah, yes, I rolled the black hole fruit.
Oh my God.
I am going to point out, technically the time fruit does exist, and we don't know what it does. We know
It's also super limited. Usually when you get like concept fruits, they do like one specific thing and nothing else.
Wait, no, actually, I rolled the dice fruit.
Oh, God.
If you roll the time fruit, you're every main universe JoJo villain power combined. You can stop time, accelerate time, reset time, and skip time.
Not even. You can literally only go to the future.
as far as we know.
It's useless. So it's fucking useless.
As far as we know.
Everyone can do that. That's called taking a nap.
Yeah.
No, like for 20 years without aging?
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure
it's the Rip Van Winkle fruit.
I'm pretty sure it can only go forward because she can use it on other people too. So, like, why wouldn't you just take Gold Roger to the past and kill the people that made the world government?
Yeah.
If you could do that.
I mean, if you could push other people into the future, you just flick them and they turn to dust.
Like, you physically move them to the future. So you touch them, and then you do your thing, and then
And they're in
they
the
are
future.
20 years in the future. Like, they just haven't
Yeah, okay,
existed
they're
for
not
the
here
last
anyway.
20 years. They aren't here.
Basically the same thing.
Like, it's probably the ultimate combat fruit. Because you don't fight it. You just need to touch them once and go, bye.
Well, unless they have hockey, and then it doesn't work.
Here in this
Probably.
strange reality, you'll just be going about your business in your peaceful town, and suddenly pirates will teleport, screaming, "Where are they?"
Yeah,
It's
pretty much.
confusing
Well, no, they're
times.
probably teleported to a random point in the middle of the ocean.
Because of
Or it's the
tectonic
same
movement.
position, just 20 years later.
I think
Wait,
it's the same
exactly.
spot.
So they're right, but then there's probably not
We're
an
having a
island
fight.
there anymore.
We're having a fighter on either on our ships or on an island, just,
On a ship.
and in the Grand Line, since everything moves, just there's like 90% chance that there won't be anything under their feet anymore.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, hey, yeah, you probably just need to send them 10 minutes forward, and they fall into the ocean.
I should really make someone have that fruit just to fuck with everything.
Or you just be mean and you're just like, I'm not even gonna teleport you. I'm just gonna teleport, I don't know, the air around you. Forward.
No.
They would have to be awakened.
You stop
it-
that right now, Shogun.
Like, generally speaking, to do stuff outside of the immediate fruit capabilities, you gotta awaken.
Teleport your ship a second and a half into the future. So as everyone just falls and then gets caught in the ship.
No, I hate
Or
it.
at least you just get rid
Captain-
of their weapons. You just be like,
Captain, please
sword
enable
gone,
no
your
clip.
shirt gone.
Enable no clip.
Alright, Shogun, do you want to finish your intro? You're playing Wick. Do you want to say anything about Wick as a person, or leave
I have
it
a sword
ambiguous?
with wings.
That's pretty fucking
Sword
long.
with wings.
Cool.
Okay.
Alright, Jimmy, who are you?
I am Jimmy, the scientist, skunk man.
Mad scientist.
I made a zombie. Thought it was cool. Then everyone gave me dirty looks.
You got
Data
you got
gave-
two bugs thrown at you.
Data gave me a test. I filled it out. I thought I did pretty good. Handed it back to him, and he gave me even worse look.
Oh, that hasn't happened yet. You haven't turned them in. You'll-
Okay, I haven't turned him in yet.
Character. We took the tests off screen. Merc and Jimmy respectively.
No one else yet, but
Uh,
I mean, that was the two that
Well,
Data
those are
cared
the
about.
concerned with.
Daya has no reason to be remotely concerned about labels or like they seem too chill to give a fuck. Like that's
they
fine.
just fight you. They just do their job.
goodness.
Oh,
But
also, sorry.
Yeah.
I have an into the party because I'm a bounty hunter.
Gotcha.
Okay.
is this the second bounty hunter we've had?
Yes.
Third.
Third?
Oh yeah,
Oh
third.
fuck.
Taiho
Yeah.
Yama, then Iris Garter, and now Wick.
Yeah.
For those of you who remember the first and I think second sessions of this, Taiho Yama was a mammoth bounty hunter.
He's now a prison guard.
He's a warden.
Warden. Glorified prison guard.
Prison guard
Pretty
with
much.
paperwork.
Before I end this verdict, and everyone, I guess, I don't remember what stance I had. I knew I had claw. For
Right,
definite, I had claw. Did
I
I have tail or run as my last one? Because I'm trying to figure out which stance I just newly got.
They go in order, so if you
Oh.
don't know exactly which one you had, if you know how many you know how many you had, then it's one more, I guess, because you have to get them sequentially.
If I knew that, then I wouldn't be asking. I am very confused.
So I would assume, because we're what,
If
level
you have
7?
claw, it would be tail.
Yeah,
We're just
so-
assuming
Okay.
that claw was my most recent.
well,
I believe so. I don't remember you ever touching tail or run
I touched
unless
tail
you
and
use a
run,
rumble
yeah,
ball.
when I used rumble balls, yeah. Okay,
yeah. So I think you're at the next one.
okay. Well, that's
How
it
many-
for me.
Alright, never mind. I can remember.
We'll double check later, but for now, just assume tail, and if you get an extra one, then you get an extra one, and we all go nice.
All right.
Because you're a human, right, Jimmy?
Yes, I am human.
Why did you hesitate?
I was like, well, I have devil fruit, so I'm a skunk human, but I was born human, so yes.
Yeah, you're human, so thus you get an extra you get a feat from gourmet or whatever the fuck it's called. So but you got the attacks.
You should have 5 devil fruit feats.
So
Alright, so that's pretty simple.
Do the attacks on that list count as their own feats?
Yes.
Okay.
Those aren't. They're optional. You don't need to take them if you didn't.
does base count?
No.
You start with
Alright,
base.
so
Base is automatic.
So you have skunk.
Yeah, it should be
You
tail.
have the base, hybrid, claw, tail, and then skunk spray and stench claws.
Yeah, hybrid is free.
but hybrid is free,
Yeah, every zone
So-
gets a hybrid form.
so I should have skunk and hybrid plus 5 more.
5 more things on the tree, yes.
Yeah, feats,
Okay,
not
so
stances.
1, 2,
So
3.
the attacks
Oh.
as well would come into that.
Yeah.
The stance counts as a feat.
Yeah,
but
unless there's...
so
yeah,
do the attacks.
right.
So you should have run as well.
I should have run. Okay.
All right.
You should have the stances all the way up to run as well as your 2 attacks prior.
I'm so close to spray and stink cloud.
Which we should all be terrified of, really.
Hey, I can
Yeah.
get to that if I do a rumble ball. I can't do supreme skunk without losing my shit yet.
We also need to
Yes.
figure out what the hell domesticated means.
It
Domesticated
means I
just
can
means
control supreme skunk.
It's
It means
just,
I can
not
go
good.
ginormous without destroying everything in sight.
I see.
it's good stuff. All right. So that was the
That other
longest,
person.
most convoluted fucking intro. Data.
So,
Who are you?
I'm Data.
Nice, love it. All right. So last time, we were having some downtime, and really should have used it as the opportunity to realize we were supposed to level up, but I didn't. So we're gonna have a little bit of level up conversation this session. But we had a look around everyone's room, which was cool, and everyone was given a test by Data because it turns out our group of lawful, law-abiding, like serious. We are good people. We keep everything safe and reasonable, and we are well-behaved Marines. Turn out to not be so great. I would say it's not because of the zombie, but it is mostly because of the zombie. Jimmy.
The zombie was a clear indicator that something was off. Well,
So we will get into the results of those tests. Other than that, yeah,
I don't want to.
that's basically
I
all
don't
that
wanna-
happened last time. So we ended off last time, everyone going to sleep and having a little dream sequence. If I'm honest, I don't remember the exact specifics of every dream sequence. They're just kind of like a little bit of introspection on the characters. So
Captain suddenly had Luffy powers, extended arms, and tore my zombie to bits and threw him in the ocean. It was quite upsetting.
so with that, we can start with the next morning. Data, I assume you are almost always the first one up, correct?
yeah. Data does a morning watch at the lookout.
All right, so you're up. You're doing your watch. You don't really need to roll for it, but go ahead and roll. You keeping watch of stuff.
I'll need to update this. Whatever.
25. All right, cool. So for a 25, the first thing that you notice, and it's pretty hard to miss if we're being honest, is an abundance of snow falling. Like just middle of the ocean. There's no clouds, just snow.
Data will look around. It was like, snow, no clouds. Is this ash? He's gonna stick his head out the window, grab a piece. Is it cold?
Yeah. This is cold. It is in lovely flake shapes.
Oh.
This snow. This be snow, but there is no clouds.
He looks around. Okay. I suppose we must be getting close to maybe a winter island?
Possibly, yeah, maybe. Could be
Well,
up there.
He's gonna... Can he see any, like, land masses?
Just like with your eyes, like just
Yeah.
due to the curvature of the Earth, no.
Okay. Well, then in that case, he's gonna get on top of the lookout.
Mhm.
He's gonna try something.
Yep.
Like, obviously, he's not trained in this, so you can just say, like, no, it doesn't work. But he's gonna try to, like... So he's a wind Lohia.
Yeah. Huh.
So he's gonna try to, like, feel the wind, become one with it. See if he can notice anything. Because he knows what it's like for, like, wind to be disturbed because he's felt it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's wondering if he can maybe hear that in the area.
You're essentially trying to find if there's anything unnatural about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If something seems off about the flow.
No, it doesn't feel as if this has been manipulated or altered, so it doesn't seem or feel like this is artificial, like, for example, if someone could just magically make snow appear, or someone has a weapon that made it snow, or... It doesn't feel like that, it just feels, no, this is snow. But, one thing that is slightly interesting is this... You know what? I actually lied earlier. I made a mistake. It's not so much that it's like individual snowflakes that are falling. It's almost like in clumps, as if this had settled somewhere and is now falling. So imagine if there's like... So it snowed somewhere, and then that's all just been pushed off.
Someone's sweeping it off their roof.
Yeah, someone sweeping it off their roof, someone clearing off their car, like, whatever that is, just falling off.
I guess then he's gonna look up.
Yeah, you look up, and, you see the sky. It's there.
Snow plops in your face.
Yeah, like, you know what? A big heap of snow just...
Well, it would fall through him, but...
Yeah, so... But there isn't, like, an immediate... Well, there's no obvious location. It doesn't look like anything is there. Like, there's a slight dark shadow, but not really enough of it to fully seem to be much of anything.
That's weird. He's gonna call down, he's like, hey, can someone take over watch? There's something up there that I want to take a look at.
I'll watch.
Alright, so Jimmy, you are also awake now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you too can see just these weird clumps of snow falling.
Yeah, you see this? It's weird.
Is the air cold?
No? Yeah, it's pretty temperate.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna go take a look.
Does the snow melt when it hits either a person or a ship, or the ocean?
I mean,
Or is it just chill?
yeah, like the snow will hit, it'll melt. It's weird, really. Is the only thing you can really figure it out. So, before I go on much further and Data can go and explore stuff, I just want to quickly check in with Shogun. Obviously, you weren't here for a couple of sessions. Do you know what you wanted Chum to do? Like, how he exited? Like, is he still on the boat and he's going to disappear now, or did he duck out a couple sessions ago?
Shogun?
Sorry, I
You there?
was looking through my sheet. Sorry, I was looking through my sheet and got
it's
lost
okay.
in it.
Yeah, so I was just asking, obviously you weren't here for a few sessions, and that's fine. I'm just curious, did Chum just like duck out, like just walk off in the wrong direction a few sessions ago, or do you want Chum here so Chum can actually make an exit?
No, I think Chum disappeared, and also I think if a character were to notice, that would be notable. I think the method in which he just leaves the situation is sort of not seamless, but he removes himself from the situation, both physically and also generally from people's minds. He just kind of ceases to
Obfuscated?
be there. Yeah, kind of, but
Okay.
probably not as professional.
So how does that work with Gam Gam? Because obviously Gam Gam is on the boat.
Well, I'm certain he can't trick her, so I imagine she's aware of it and probably not too concerned.
So somewhere off screen, Gam Gam and Chum had a conversation. Gam's like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll stick it out here if you want to come back. Just keep in touch. Write a letter, or else." So yeah, okay, cool. Just checking. So that works freakishly well. It's like, yeah, Chum is just kind of not in people's minds too much. Like, we're all vaguely aware of Chum.
Question.
We know he went. We don't know why or how.
Well, how does that affect Data?
I don't know.
I think his intent with like this was to be to not worry people, to not make everyone worried. So yeah, the idea is that he would sort of just kind of leave behind a ripple of just like, it's okay, don't worry about it.
I mean, obviously, I don't want to play your character or anything. I suppose like an easy get out would be, I'm gonna help these ex-slaves, essentially, these people who are being held captive. I'm gonna help them. I'm gonna stick on their boat and take them to safety.
I like the idea you had before of in some way this is a repercussion of the time messy stuff, and so he doesn't really have an option to go or not. He has to go, and he's being pulled somewhere, and so he tries to do it gracefully as much as he can.
No,
Gotcha.
that is actually even better. So yeah, Chum wasn't by choice, but Chum has disappeared. But we're not fussed about. We're not worried. Like Chum's fine. We think.
Yep.
Who's Chum? Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Why, Chum?
All right, so I was just double checking on that before going in any detail on what's going on. All right, Data, you going for a little scout?
Does Data still need the gloves for Category 3? Because I remember we had the gloves because he didn't technically have the feet when...
Have you taken the feat yet?
Yeah, the feet's been taken for a while now.
Yeah, then you should be fine. I mean, you can keep the gloves for... They make you feel nice. You know? I like the sensation, but...
In that case, this time when he uses Category 3, instead of like blowing it out of his hands and all that, it's kind of like, not exactly like a jetpack, but on his back he has those like tattoos of wings. So those kind of like air goes from there, and that's what propels him.
I dig that. Do they vaguely form the outline of wings?
Vaguely.
Yeah. So it's like, nice. Alright, I think this is also a very good opportunity to ask, and see if it comes into play. What did you get for your level up?
What did Data get?
Yeah.
Oh, Data got the ability to use Rokushiki in Category 2. And the modified techniques that come with that.
So, you go up, you don't little fly. These clumps of snow, as you fly up a little higher, they're bigger. Like, quite big. Like, yes, they will fall apart naturally, but that's as they get further down. If you're going up, you might need to like break some of them apart. So do you want to? How does that look? What are some of the things you do to deal with these large clumps of snow?
They're just clumps, right?
Yeah.
So they have gaps in them?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go through it.
You don't want to have a badass moment where you show up a new technique because narratively that would be a cool
Oh,
thing to show
I'm in
off.
category 3, and I got Rokushiki for category 2.
Yeah.
So I have to do them in order. So I'm just flying.
You'd have to switch to 2 and then do. All right, yeah. So you're just flying through. Fine, ignore me. We'll find another opportunity to show off your cool new shit.
Now, if I had multitask and I could have 2 stances at once,
yeah. So,
then I could, but
how high do you go? Like, how far away from a boat? You like going full as high as you can go till you find an answer, or are you keeping relatively close to everything?
it's going towards whatever that shadow was.
Okay. I mean, how long do you do this for? Like, how long before you go, maybe I should turn back?
He'll fly. So he's generally pretty good at sensing altitude for several reasons, but
Air pressure.
he'll get high enough to up to the point where it starts becoming difficult to keep track of the ship.
Alright, so what? Say like 1,000 meters?
Yeah, something like that.
1,000 meters up, you're still not at whatever it is, the shadow. The shadow is more clear, and it is clearly not a construct. It is clearly like, I suppose, a landmass, maybe?
What the heck?
Um,
Sky Island?
no. This is definitely not a Sky Island, per se, because they're at like 10,000 meters. But so nothing would be coming down 9,000 meters from a Sky Island. That'd be fucking wild.
Well, it could be falling, which would be concerning.
That would be. It isn't moving. It is just kind of there. It's just hanging out. It's having a nice time. But you can see the shadow. Its shape isn't changing, but it appears to be some kind of landmass that does seem to stretch both up and down from where you can see. It seems to be going at an angle, and the snow seems to be clumping and falling from that.
Data will pull out his Denden Mushi. Be like, and I guess he calls Merc.
Bada bada. Does it work?
Yeah.
Or is it? It's not jammed.
It's not jammed. Is this what wakes Merc up? Because this is quite early. This is like very early on.
Yeah, he had just gotten back to sleep after his episode last night.
Mm-hmm. And you got woken up by
And just smash it.
What?
Captain, I've identified an odd object up in the sky. I can barely make it out. Seems to stretch on a little ways.
Fucking cloud.
That's the moon. Go to bed.
It's not a cloud. There seems to be some odd. I think it might be snow. I'm assuming it's snow, but it could potentially not be. It's a little ways further. I could fly there and rendezvous, but I figured it'd be best to get your input. What do you think?
Falling back to sleep.
It's too early for this. Where's Wave?
Wave,
It's Wave
I believe, is still navigating, I assume.
Oh, Wave. I'm gonna assume Wave is asleep. Because this is, when I say early, this is like 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that's Data's code for Data sleeping. I think he's navigating.
Navigating the dream world.
Jimmy is currently occupying my spot in the lookout.
Wake.
I always wake up this
It's
The
one
fuck is
person this
wrong
time
with you
for this
guys?
shift.
You gotta wait, why the fuck is Jimmy awake?
Why is Jimmy awake and somebody's at the helm? Somebody's holding this fucking wheel.
Well, not necessarily.
Why?
There's just a piece of rope with a little smiley face drawn on a post.
There's like a bike lock on the fucking wheel.
For ease, we can say either Smithy or Frankie or someone has built like not like a robot per se, but essentially like just something to hold it steady. Like that's it.
It's a chair leaned up against it.
It's a chair, but they stuck some arms on it. And it's crewmate chair. We leave crewmate chair in charge of the boat overnight time. It's got an alarm bell on it, so if it gets knocked over.
Captain?
Use your best judgment.
I'm gonna find out last time he did that, he fucks off.
I'm so fucking tired. Do what you're gonna do. Fuck.
Data will stop.
Mushi's back on the...
Like, he'll look up at the thing, look down at the ship, remember the zombie. God damn it. Fine, I'm heading back to the ship.
Then Mushi's already off.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Jimmy, in this time you have been allowed to take over as watch. What did you get on with? What did you do? I assume it wasn't watch.
To your surprise, it was.
Yes.
I can't really work on the zombie if we get like invaded with pirates. So I actually do keep watch.
I love how that's your concern.
Yeah. I put a lot of work into that, man.
Okay. So you're out, you're keeping watch, the snow is falling in weird clumps. Data, you come back down, you land.
Alright. Thank you, Jimmy. Oh, by the way, did you finish that paperwork I gave you?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Search around in my pocket, hand him a crumpled piece of paper that's in the shape of a ball. Here you go.
Thank you. I will review this and get back to you later.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to bed.
Yeah. Get some sleep.
Jimmy, as you are heading back to bed, Gam Gam comes out of her room with a silver tray, and on that tray are two beautiful like glass mugs filled with steaming hot cocoa with fresh cream on top with delicate chocolate sprinkles. And she goes, "Hello, dearie, I heard you were up. Would you like some?"
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy.
I very much would.
And she's gonna go up and she's gonna offer the same to Data.
Thank you, Gam Gam.
Yeah. I felt that was a mild chill. I thought we could all use some hot cocoa.
Yes. If you need any help getting the table set for breakfast, just let me know.
No, it's fine. I'll take care of that. With that, Gam Gam, I'll just kind of stand with you for a moment, taking watch. And then her eyes are like, it's a very anime trope, her eyes are like perpetually closed. And then they just open super wide for a second. And she just goes, looks like we'll be getting to an island soon. I'd say a couple of hours, perhaps. Lovely. We can get fresh supplies.
Why is she not our navigator?
Data will watch me like, Gam Gam, do you think you could teach me hockey?
She looks at you, smiles, and goes, "That's not my job, dearie."
Alright, suppose I'll have to figure it out.
And she's gonna head back downstairs and she's gonna start getting breakfast prepped. Alright, Data. You're gonna keep watch. I'd say maybe for like 2 or so more hours, it gets to a more reasonable time for people to be getting up, 7, maybe 8 a.m.
Data's gonna be doing that thing that Gam Gam was doing.
Just going, staring really hard.
Well, actually what he's gonna do is he's just gonna, like, close his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of try to... know where stuff is.
Okay. You want to roll for that?
Sure, what would I need to roll?
What does it say in the feat?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have a book open.
For observation hockey?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's just in feats.
Well,
Let's see. I had it just a second ago. Let's see. Devil Fruits, Rokishiki, hockey. Which one's observation? Because they're in the use the Japanese ones. Kinbun-shoku, Hap-shoku, or Busu-shoku.
I think it's Ken.
Kinbun-shoku, also known as mantra of Skypia, is a form of hockey that allows the user to sense the presence of others. Uses a reflex save normally. But let's see. At the beginning of each turn, the user must successfully roll a concentration check DC versus the DC of 20 to not fall out of the stance. The user gains a +10 bonus to defense, spot, and sense motive checks.
Okay. So... Yeah, so it's a concentration roll, really.
But it requires reflex to get.
Yeah. Okay, so roll reflex, first of all. That should be pretty good for you. That is the time.
That's actually really bad for data, but...
Yeah, that's a 2 on the die.
Yeah, that's not wonderful. But you know, it feels like you're kind of doing it. You watch Gam do it. You get the idea. So you stand there. You go. Now roll me a concentration. Follow that up, please.
Whoa! Where did I put this? Dear God, I should have done this in alphabetical order.
Skills? Yeah.
What does concentration use in this game?
I am going to assume con, but let's double check. Con, yeah, con.
Cool, sweet.
Use a con for con.
Um,
16. All right. So you stare real hard, and you think that maybe you might be seeing something, but really, you're just staring so hard, your eyes are going slightly out of focus, and you feel a bit fuzzy and lightheaded.
he's like, whatever.
But for a second, you think you had it. You're like, yeah, I saw it. Nope. Okay, I need to sit down.
Starts just blinkies.
He just drinks the hot cocoa.
This hot
You get the
cocoa.
little floaters in your eye.
This hot cocoa is the best fucking hot cocoa. Like, when I say it is the best fucking hot cocoa, like, you take it and you like, your pupils dilate so that almost your entire eye is nothing but pupil, and you can see infrared and ultraviolet light.
Maybe I should have done this after drinking this cocoa.
You can feel like aspects of the wind just slightly move. Like, you can feel every little creak of the wood. Like, under your feet, you can physically feel the slight flexibility of the ship moving on the waves. Like, you are aware of everything.
Oh.
For like 30 seconds. If that.
They will then pull out a notebook, write something down, put it away, and then he unfolds Jimmy's piece of paper. He's just gonna give it a look over.
Mm-hmm.
That's standard. What? Oh my God. I'm sorry, what?
How did you pass the psych test?
It's like, how did you get enlisted? How did you think, even if you thought this, why would you tell anyone? And he's just gonna fold a piece of paper, put it in his back pocket, and just just gonna stare out the window now.
Yeah. Okay. And as you're doing it, you're setting up. You'll see Gam Gam coming up and down. She's setting up stuff, and she brings out like a full table, like to set up on deck to have breakfast. Like she brings it up, like carrying it in one hand and carrying it like dragging a whole hostess trolley with the other, just not caring, just. And it's setting up probably the most beautifully elaborate breakfast. It looks fantastic. It's amazing. And of course, she makes sure to set up a parasol to capture the snow so it doesn't land on any of her amazing food. I'd say it takes Gam Gam maybe an hour to get everything set up in all of this, giving time for more people to wake up. You are most definitely woken up by the beautiful aroma of Gam Gam's cooking. Also, probably the near constant drip. Obviously you're on the ocean. There's the sound of waves, but every approximately 5 seconds, it sounds as if someone dropped a large rock in the water from the snow hitting it. So, and that's fairly obvious. So, Merc, Jimmy, when you two wake up properly, I assume you come out onto the deck, and my internet just cut out. Love that.
So I guess the stream is down for a little bit.
It is still recording. Anywho, so Future Bardic cut to approximately here. Alright, so, internet blip corrected. Gam Gam setting up. Wonderful aroma of food and weird occasional splooshing sound stuff landing in the ocean. Merc, Jimmy, you're probably quite comfortably waking up now at a more normal time. What are your first thoughts, feelings, actions?
Well, I just want to state that I was sleepy already. Graham gave me that hot chocolate. I got a boost for 30 seconds, and then I crashed immediately after it wore off.
Oh, yeah.
So I wake up, and suddenly on my desk, I see plans to properly, modify Hot Zom with all the ideals I want. I'm like, what was in that cocoa? I don't remember any of this. I did this in 30 seconds?
Yeah, no one asked Gam Gam for a secret ingredient, because it's methamphetamine. No, it's not. No, Gam Gam.
He's the greatest cook ever.
Just gave Data some Adderall.
Pretty much.
Data need it,
though? No, but...
Alright, so Jimmy, you woke up, you found these perfect notes. Do you also... How do you think that Jimmy has manifested his level up? Like, how does that occur to Jimmy? Like, how does he know he can now do the new stuff he can do?
For some reason, my brain fried, and I thought you were asking everyone, not just me. His new level up? Are you talking about the feat he got?
Yeah.
Should have gotten 2. You should have gotten a devil fruit one and then a general one.
Oh yeah, I haven't picked my normal one.
My normal one, he realizes all the different ways he can modify Hot Zom. And then he thought, how can he modify human? How can he modify living things?
Oh god, no.
Oh god.
But there'd probably be too much screaming, crying, all that nonsense. But what if there was a more painless way? So Jimmy now has the feat to create power armor. Like, power suits.
Uh-huh. I don't like Shogun's fucking smile there. So he's like, nice.
Well, because Maggie knew about power armor and was using it already.
Well, that also means that somewhere over in the world, that also means Maggie is also now level 7 and has power armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I have the invent for it.
At a
so
factory.
I now have it.
All right, that's really dope. So you've got that. You've had your I don't know, either in your hot cocoa, like, fever, note making, like, scribble down somewhere, like, I get it, or you dreamt it up in an immaculate dream and now you just know it. Either way, you go and you get to go and sit down and have some amazing breakfast. Merc, you're waking up. Probably in something resembling a cold sweat.
Something about that.
How is your level up manifested? Exactly
Okay,
like
then.
that. Just scream.
Just like this, just bent over, just like fucking dream. I hate it. 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 I hate it continuously for a long while. Because his level up granted him greater flurry of blows.
So you're going to punch something once, you actually punched it like 7 times. You go, yes!
He dreamt that I showed him Hot Zom for the first time. Right? No! And then beat the shit out of Hot Zom continuously.
Oh, just do it like an auto.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
Tons of attacks rapidly. And then, like, I still don't know what to do for his character feat.
Yeah, your R&D.
Because my R&D's done.
Hmm.
I did all of those already using my other 3 character feats. And I don't know what the next one would be.
You
so
could do like some
figure that out.
specialized fishman karate.
That's not for another 3 levels.
Yeah.
That's when you get a fishman karate master. But you should have some basic fishman karate before, right?
I mean, that's something we can figure out. If you make a note of it somewhere, we'll figure out something. Like, if you want it to be more combat orientated or something more doctor orientated,
Yeah.
we'll figure out if it's something you want to incorporate into like your combat or like, whatever it is. We can sit and figure it out. But
I thought about something defensive, but I don't know how exactly to include it.
let me just find the Fishman Karate Master. Or Aquatic Karate, whatever they call it in this.
It's Aquatic Karate Master in this,
'Cause
and Aquatic
I
Karate
don't
Master.
think they get anything like defensive, do they?
I don't.
No, it's well, yes they do. Their third ability, Shark Skin Palm Block, a simple palm block with enough force behind it to slap away a sword swing. The standard action, you may use this ability once during one of your opponent's turns. Instead of rolling defense, roll your unarmed strike at a +5 bonus against your attack. If you win, you don't take any damage. The standard action is then subtracted from your next turn.
I mean, we could do something akin, because, if that's like a palm block, like, obviously, you are squid, not fish, and certainly not a shark, but we could do something similar, like, I don't know if it should be a stance or a time ability you activate to basically, like, a defensive mode, like, so if you were a shark, for example, I'd say, yeah, shark skin. I don't know if squids have something equivalent as a
not
defensive
really, but
capability.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Can I just get like catch projectiles?
Yeah.
Oh, like
the normal ass feet,
arrows?
just
Like the normal ass feet of monk, but I
Yeah.
don't see it anywhere in here.
yeah. I don't. I mean, we can just find the 3.5 version of catch projectile, whatever it's called, and we'll just slap it in. It should work exactly the same. So you can just roll and catch it, because that would make perfect sense.
Use unarmed strike to catch a projectile.
Is that how it works in 3.5?
No, but I'd imagine that's how it would work in here. I don't know. I never played a monk in 3.5, so I don't know.
In 3.5, you don't roll to catch it. You can catch one. You can catch one projectile around, and you just do it.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like energy.
Yeah, well, that's different. That's magic. They
Right.
can't catch magic. I'm
Or
not.
like an arrow. I'm not sure how that would work with bullets, but It's One Piece, so it'll probably work.
In One Piece, you can redirect a bullet by tilting your sword slightly at it.
Yeah, you could probably just catch it.
What I could do too is I could like use the lightning gloves that we were using for Carbonopolis to make it move and shit, and just like make a magnet trap. Like a bullet will enter it and just stick there.
That's actually pretty dope. I mean, I would be happy with you just pinching it in the midair, going.
I mean, I can catch arrows or something like pretty easily, or a dagger, just like catch it by the handle. But like,
I mean, I am gonna point out that in the One Piece world, like even quite early on in the series, fucking Sanji, like, who at this point has no special powers, can just straight up kick cannonballs out of the sky.
This is true. You can probably just catch bullets.
You probably can just catch them. We go.
I can catch one projectile around as a reaction.
Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Maybe not sea stone bullets, but regular bullets.
Well, you should be fine even with sea stone. Like, yeah, fine.
Sea stone's hard.
Well, it's hard, but you can still catch it. Just... So, yeah, boom. I don't know. You're just more alert to projectiles, I guess.
We'll say it's a reaction from the cocoa. After getting up and actually sitting down at breakfast.
So the breakfast spread you have is a delightful. It is a mixed continental spread. So we've got hot cocoa. There's cooked pastries, and it's very akin to the kind of breakfast you would get at a ski resort. Gam Gam has, he's seen the weather and goes, ski resort. All right. We've got croissants, we've got pain au chocolat. We'll have a few bits of cooked meats, but it's mostly about high sugar, high fat content for surviving in cold environments.
Sausage and pancakes.
Sausage, pancakes, and some slow release carbs as well, so like porridge and muesli, and just real good hearty stuff that is perfect for dealing with cold environments. And yeah, you're up. You're on the main deck. You're watching the weird snowfall.
Still going on. Like, what is it? 3-4 hours later from when Data called earlier.
Yep. Still going on.
Well, it's fucking weird.
So, I assume everyone is just sat around the breakfast table. And I am a big fan of awkward family meals. I think they're fantastic.
Before...
Especially with Zor and Merc both being large.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Dale would have asked for Merc's papered work stuff.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I did it like an hour before you called. Here. Just hand it to him, and it's like, it's a little ruffled, but it's not balled up.
Okay. Just gonna flip through it. Is sense motive a thing in this? Or
Is
spot?
what?
Sense motive or spot a thing?
Sense motive.
It's a secondary skill.
Yeah, sense motive's the thing.
So it's gonna be like, oh, interesting. Just continue eating.
Okay. So you're bluffing about, oh, okay, this is fine. This is normal. Alright. As Gam Gam stated a couple hours ago, should be nearing land soonish. One thing that is noticeable, the further in you've been sailing, is whilst there isn't cloud, there is definitely a mist or fog building. Not anything too excessive. You can still see quite happily through it, but it, at the very least, is fairly ominous. Through the fog, it's more mist. It's not fog. It's not thick enough to be fog. So through the mist, and it's not that hard to see. There is some very obvious signs of a landmass on the horizon, approximately like maybe 2 hours or so away. The main reason it's visible is because there is a very large light source, something akin to like a light tower or a giant bonfire or something that is visible off in the distance. So you do know that you are approaching an island.
Good, we're not sailing in the dark anymore.
Well, I suppose we better get ready to dock.
I think this entire time I was really awkward family breakfast. The NPCs just slurping and eating, and just the three of you are being really quiet. Like just Jimmy, Merc, and Data are all just like, yep.
Well, Merc slept like shit, and is not a morning person as it is.
Jimmy, how are you handling this breakfast scenario?
I thought it was great that everyone finally knows and I don't have to keep a secret from my friends anymore. And now everyone's avoiding me.
Did you bring Hot Zom to the breakfast table?
No, he's not educated enough for that yet. Doesn't have proper manners.
He's barely housebroken.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, oh my god, I get it now. The skunk devil fruit. The stench was metaphorical the whole time.
Wow.
Okay, so breakfast reaches its natural conclusion. You've got like 2 hours before you will be approaching an island. I assume everyone goes off to do their various duties or whatever the hell they get up to when they have private time.
Data goes to his room and he's like in there for a few hours.
Okay. We will cover that one in a second. Merc, what are you doing? What is your prep for knowing? All right, we're gonna be hitting the island soon.
Gotta make sure marine stuff is all flying and everything is shipshape. We're not castaways.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Jimmy, what are you doing in this little bit of downtime?
Making sure Hot Zom is calm, that he's not gonna freak out while I'm gone.
Okay. Smart thinking. Alright. Data.
What?
What does your research tell you? What have you learned about your crewmates?
He looks at Merc's paper and he goes, okay. A bit disheartening, I suppose, but not something I can't handle. Perhaps a push in the right direction. Just someone I need to make sure that I'm around to reinforce his better habits so that he doesn't slip into his bad ones. But he follows rules, so that's not too difficult. I guess that's not super surprising to see someone like that in the Marines. No serious cause for concern at the time being. And then there's Jimmy. This might be a problem.
So, what are your results telling you about Jimmy that's making you feel concerned?
Well, other than the blatant disregard for the value of life of anything, it's become quite clear that any semblance of order that he has is simply a factor of non-confrontation, and the moment he's allowed to run wild, who knows what he'll do. Hot Zom being a prime example. Does he have any legitimate threats? So far, no. So, I guess it's nothing to worry about for now. I'll have to inform the captain, but...
Can I trust the
Hmm. Actually, you know what? I'll hold off until I get Zor's results.
captain? Okay. After all this analysis, whoever's currently on watch, they shout out, "All right, docking, we're here." As you have now gotten much closer to the island, the snow is still periodically falling in clumps, but the island itself is awash with greenery, and it feels tropical. Like the breeze is wonderful and temperate, and is now becoming aware that the mist that was being formed was clearly from the snow falling into this temperate climate and immediately becoming water vapor, creating this weird steam-like sensation. So it's almost as if just being here is arriving in a beautifully temperate, calming hot springs at all times. And this island, there appears to be some kind of settlement fairly close by. There is something resembling a formal shipyard or docks. And there's not many ships, there's certainly no large ships currently docked here. Maybe a few fishing vessels. Not really any... not any signs of, like, massive amounts of trade. One would logically assume, because the islanders here don't really have a need to trade. Everything they could want is here. The trees are overfilled with greenery, and they seem to grow extraordinarily large. In fact, there is a tree that overhangs the docks, and this tree houses bananas on it, but these bananas are easily 2 foot long.
Those are big bananas.
This is a massive banana. It is akin to what one would see as some sort of paradise, or an Eden-esque environment, where there is no signs of open hostility. There is just comfort. Obviously, they're not like primitives or anything. They aren't walking around in loincloths or anything like that. But these people who live here, they have created a stable and capable society. They just have no desire or need to evolve it to the extent of excessive capitalism, as it would be. So they don't need to make giant structures or power plants, right? Like, no, we're cool. We work with nature, we're happy, we're content, we know what we're doing, and that's fine. We've got this lovely dock, we built it, it's not falling apart, but it's made out of natural materials. We don't need to go and manufacture cement and... no, it's a nice wooden dock, but it's well built. So yeah. You will definitely notice one boat that is there. It seems... Well, it's a one-person boat, but it's clearly not a fishing vessel. It looks as if one person on their own has just, rowed it on their own through the Grand Line.
Like it's like a dinghy, or if it's just a little tiny, small sloop?
Closer to a dinghy, one would assume.
Oh my.
It looks very beaten up. In fact, there is quite a large gaping hole in it, I would assume.
Sorry, I missed that because I was... Silver came in and said hi.
Yeah,
There's a boat at the dock.
Yeah, there's a
single person dinghy with a hole in it.
Yeah, it looks as if one person has just somehow rode here on their own, probably not that long ago. And if you wanted to go and find them, they would probably look rather disheveled, as the easiest way to phrase it. They probably wouldn't be too far away either. But other than that, yeah.
Is there? All right. Well, I guess we dock.
Yep.
Is there anyone there?
Nope. There doesn't appear to be a want or need for any kind of harbor master. No one claims ownership over this. It's just, well, this is a facility that we need to use. Why would somebody, they have the right to go, no, this is mine. We all use it. Just be there and don't break things because we all need it.
You're giving us a lot of assumptions over these people we haven't even seen yet.
This is just the vibe. You can see it, and it is like literally looking at something akin to paradise.
Bardic has created a nice little anarchic utopia.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's like a hippie commune.
That is essentially it. It is basically a fucking hippie commune. In fact, you know what? Yeah, that is the aesthetic. If you see anybody who lives here, they probably are wearing a tie-dye shirt. They've probably got like purple sunglasses on.
Flower crown, khaki pants.
Yeah, no one wears shoes.
Flip flops.
Fucking hate shoes. No need for it. And from a distance, you're fairly certain that everyone, not everyone, but a large percentage of people seem to have a very strangely shaped cigarette.
Just weirdly torpedo shaped.
Yeah, it just gets a bit thin at one end and a bit fat at the other, and the smoke is a little bit thicker than one would expect. But yeah, they seem fine. No one seems to be too fussed by it.
Actually, could I say that if that's the case, if that's the vibe of it, you would probably immediately spot
the one person who's different.
The one person who's different than that.
Yeah, there is one person who 100% stands out. Shogun. How
you would.
First of all, can you give us a description of Wick? And I'm saying the dinghy is yours. Are you tending to that? Are you leaving it there?
It's right there. Just
what are you doing with it? So please give a description of Wick and what you are currently doing in this wonderful hippie commune.
You would see a 3.5 foot tall person with their arms crossed, looking only slightly annoyed, but definitely looking a little bit impatient. Attached to a hilt, or not a hilt, a scabbard, at their waist, is the scabbard for a katana, which is taller than they are.
Dragging on the ground.
Well, no, because it the hilt actually, the handle rather is pointed down, so the actual blade sticks upward. A little bit.
Big, sheathed blade sticking up behind you.
They're dressed in all black and have a kind of a scarf thing pulled over most of their face. And yeah, they're just there, and they're as soon as you all come into view, it's just obvious they're staring right at the ship, just waiting.
You're not. You won't be stuck on a dinghy anymore, and you won't be stuck in this weird ass place.
Another passerby, if they see a boat, they just wave and give a peace sign. Go, "What's up, bro?" And then walk off, and this guy's just staring at you mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, he has a piece of paper in one hand, arms across, and then you can see tucked out of the bundle of black that is the character. You see this little piece of paper.
He already preemptively completed the morality test.
I was gonna say either the morality test or the Marines enlistment papers or something.
And as you get closer, he'd start walking down the dock, to meet you.
Yeah, so as you're pulling up into to dock, you're getting set up.
So the dinghy just sink because there's a hole in it. Like we go to pull up by it and park next to it so as we don't destroy it and just.
Yeah, as you pull up, like you left enough room, but because of the water moving, it just fills up from a hole and the dinghy just starts to sink.
Yeah, and like as soon as you're set there, he just like holds out this piece of paper, waiting for you to exit.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll take the paper. What is the paper?
The bounty hunter contract.
I see.
What does it say?
Basically
That
the same thing
I'm
that Iris's
authorized-
and Taiho said.
Yeah, that I'm authorized to work for or with you under pay. It also looks really old. Like he was given this like ages ago and has not actually found any Marines to give it to.
Was that your dinghy?
No.
Were you using it?
Yes.
Data will walk up. I'm sorry, what?
Found a bounty hunter on an island filled with people that look like they wouldn't hurt a fly.
At that moment, you see someone with their hands cupped walking down the dock. Goes, excuse me. Opens it just to let a little fly go.
I told you not to talk to me.
Just let a little fly go. He goes, little dude who's just like in my house, and I totally want to be like, it just skulks off.
What is this place?
Hell,
How long have you been here?
2 hours.
Yeah, this is not a place that Merc enjoys, I'll tell you that.
So what? Were you just waiting here for us to show up?
I think you
Yes.
didn't have a choice.
You made a little bit of a splash recently.
Oh,
Hell. Oh.
has word
You-
spread that quickly?
Well, both metaphorically and literally, you made a bit of a splash.
So I think
We splashed his dinghy.
what you would
Sunk.
see, and what you would have access to, Wick, is you would have a newspaper which gets delivered around the world every day, and it, on the front cover, it's got an image of the smokestacks like just rumbled into the ground, and some stuff about valiant Marines put an end to illegal human trafficking. It doesn't mention special ops anywhere, but there's like you can see like one of Merc's arms or something like just in the shot.
Medieval cropping that's like trying to hide things.
It's kind of like Mike Wazowski. Oh my god, I'm in the paper!
Yeah, so
There's
like,
a fucking barcode
you can see
over it.
like either Merc's arm or I don't know, like you can see a vague flag of their like it's a very obvious Special Ops 69 Seagull, but you can just see that like somewhere in the background. And so you saw these guys.
You see
a
like
mile
3
away.
chums.
I put 2 and 2 together. You're hunting the Shishibukai, aren't you?
Sort of.
Get
Say hunting.
Data's like, wait, get on the boat.
What's the bounty?
Get on the boat.
Standard pay, 5,000 berries a day,
Very good.
Alright,
and
so
1/3 of the bounty price.
Data.
Or-
Probably shouldn't talk about our top secret mission in the public view.
Do you
It's
really
not
think
top
these
secret
guys
anymore.
care?
So Data, I'm
I
just
mean,
This
gonna point
guy's in
out.
the know. This
they're
guy's in the know,
oblivious.
and those guys don't care.
I'm just gonna point out when you said on the boat, just some random passerby started walking up and go on your boat. Okay. dude.
Data will turn, not you.
Alright. Nice one.
Yeah, and Wick will walk up and get on the ship.
Before
I'm going to drop a package of herbs
Mhm.
on the ground.
Just distract them.
Oh,
Because I have tons of medicinal herbs.
there's one
Not as many as they
passerby.
do.
This is the same dude who had the flyer and released it. He's gonna pick it up and be like, oh, nice. You were saying something about like the Shishibu Kai, right? They're pretty far out. Like the one we got hanging out, she's fucking cool, man.
You have one here.
Well, not like here. She's not like in the village, but she was on the island like a week ago. So I don't know. I didn't see her leave, but also I was staring at my hand for like 2 days. So
Oh my god.
Could you potentially point us in the vague direction that she went?
yeah, like I mean, can you see why people would come here? I swear, like they've all been here at some point. Like, this is a really cool place.
Yeah, it certainly seems like a lovely place to go.
Yeah.
Where would someone go after coming here?
You know, I guess it depends. You know, some people go up, some people go down, some people go around and round. Man,
Man, you know, what if I was like a super cool Shichibukai? What kind of place would I go to after coming in like an island as lovely as this one? You know, I'm sure you want to like go somewhere, maybe, you know, rest a little bit. I'm sure you guys love to party. You seem like the type of people that would do that, right?
yeah,
I
dude.
whispered to Captain. I
Yeah.
forgot how amazing Data is at talking to idiots.
So,
Why
I
he's second in
missed this.
command?
yeah. So, like,
It's
Yeah.
a valuable skill on this crew.
you know what? How about this? How about this?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm gonna go help my friend here get settled in, and then
Uh-huh.
you meet me back here in like an hour, and you can like show me where she went when she was on the island. You know?
All right, cool. It's probably a little bit of a hike, so like, I can get some like granola, or do you want like some brownies or something? I
Like,
make
you
my
know
own
what?
trail mix. It's friggin'
You know what?
amazing.
Let's do some granola. Let's do some trail mix, and I have some tea, some like really good tea, and I might be able to get Gam Gam to make us some sandwiches.
That sounds amazing. I love hiking. Nature hikes are a bomb, man.
Perfect. We'll meet up in an hour. Let's do it.
All right, nice. I'll
Now go away. And he'll grab his sword,
Whoa, dude.
swing it out really fast, and then put it back. And in that swing, a bug would sort of appear in the like shadow of the slash and like float in front of the guy's face and try and like draw him away.
He goes,
Bug?
"Oh, I need to go. Sorry, I just saw like a marvelous creature of nature. I need to go follow. I'll be back in. I don't like to follow the prison of time, but you know I'll try and adhere to it because you know I try to be considerate to people. But,
All right.
yeah.
You know what? How about this? Just go about your day, and I'll run into you at town at some point. I'll look for you.
That sounds awesome, dude. All right, now I need to go not lose that little wonderful creature. Awesomeness.
Yes. You do that.
Little-
It looks like it's getting away.
And he just like follows it, like he just walks off, like very intent. Like he pulls out a little notebook and starts like writing in and sketching as he's following this thing, and and this is my new favorite NPC.
Okay. Yeesh.
God, I miss weed.
It's like what was his name? Captain. Back on the island with the snakes.
Yeah, Captain. I don't know. Whatever. I don't remember his name.
Something.
Huckleberry Finn. That's his
It,
name.
it was.
There was
It's
Captain by the book.
Yeah, well, that
But
was
he was
Lieutenant by
vice
the book
captain, yeah.
that we put into Captain.
I don't remember what his name is.
I think.
What the hell was his name?
Okay, didn't put that. Normally. Okay, we got handouts. Nope. Normally, I make like a little thing so we can make notes somewhere, but even if I did, I don't think anybody's used it. Important NPCs. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's
Not on
mostly all the
there.
ones on the ship. And
Not
then
on there.
Hotbar.
Nope. Not on there.
Right. So, you have a job?
Sounds like you know anyway, so.
You haven't been
said.
subtle.
As I said, standard pay is 5,000 berries a day plus bounty.
Very good.
It's not the whole bounty. I forget what it is.
It's a portion of it. I believe it's about a quarter.
A quarter to a third, something like that.
Whatever we deem reasonable.
It's 2/5.
Very good.
And you are?
Wick.
Wouldn't it say on the bounty contract, the bounty
Yeah.
hunter contract?
Oh.
What all would that entail? Name, age, powers?
Devil fruit and none.
No devil fruit.
And
Huh. That's actually a a respite. 'Cause I've been working with tons of devil fruit users.
I'm so glad that we're not dealing with someone who's got weird, silly powers.
Yeah, I was about to say, Captain, the
I
fuck?
wouldn't say that.
Look, it's been me and Zor. That are the only two people that have not had devil fruits this whole time. I guess Maggie. But Maggie had other crazy shit that she could fucking do.
Hmm.
Oh.
He would draw his katana and sort of kind of kneel while leaning on it. You have me and my blade.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Also,
You must wear something signifying marine affiliation, so long as you are under contract.
Sure, you got a bandana?
I got a bandana right here. Pulls from pocket.
Thank you.
Do you actually put the bandana on your head, or do you replace your face covering with it? So you've just got like a marine symbol over your mouth.
Put it underneath my face covering so I can optionally show it.
Is the mask you wear under your mask? There you go.
Yes.
does the paperwork show anything about like pirates you've apprehended previously?
Probably, which would show he specializes in swordsmen. Like,
Oh.
taking down and dueling other swordsmen.
Anybody of particular note, anybody we would know as characters, like any powerful swordsman, like the Zoro or the Hawkeye Mihawk of our time.
I mean, this is entirely up to Shogun to make up. Like, you can just
No,
make
it's up to you, because I know nothing.
I mean,
Okay,
do you
what-
want to say you've taken
you
out
want-
anybody of no? Like, it doesn't need to be massive. You know, just like
Rob, probably, yeah. He's been
Well,
able to... It's notable that he... Like, he has a list of non-swordsmen he's taken down, and with those, he has, like, just sneaks up on them, and they wake up tied up. But with swordsmen, he, like, challenges them to a duel to beat them.
so.
The duelist.
In your character background, which ocean are you from?
North, south, east, west.
I mean,
Sure, I don't...
You can be from the Grand Line.
South
but it
is the one that we're from, or that we started in rather, because Merc's from Fishman Island, which is different. East Blue is where One Piece takes place.
Yeah, Data's from West Blue.
It doesn't
It is from
really
Westbrook.
matter. Like, you could also just be from the Grand Line, which is the big scary ocean. But the toughest
Yeah, I think
people
he is
are.
sort of from around here.
So if you're from a Grand Line, all right. We'll say you took out. Yeah, we'll just make up some person. I don't know. Wicked Dick the Seventh, who was
Bounty,
a
80 million
notorious-
berries.
Yeah, a notorious bandit who made it onto the Grand Line, and you took him out before he could get anywhere or achieve anything.
You stopped him before he could see Usopp.
But he started on the Grand Line journey. He was gonna like, he had like a crew of like, I don't know, 50 men, and they were a scourge in the East Blue. They really messed some stuff up in the East Blue, and they were heading to the Grand Line, and you took them out.
Yeah, so I would have drawn them in to an island and used traps to disable the crew so that I could one-on-one duel the captain.
Yeah, Wicked Dick the Seventh.
Lovely.
It's like impressive. I mean, East Blue's usually the weakest of the four Cs, but still, an entire crew
Wicked
all
Dick
on your
was a
own.
problem.
Yeah, he was. Eh.
He was
I
kind
mean-
of like Arlong.
East Blue, while the weakest Cs, they usually end up spawning some real oddballs every now and again.
Considering doesn't Merc and Data reads One Piece, which we've determined is actually history textbooks essentially.
In the form
But
of
nobody knows
fictional
that.
manga.
I don't remember the list of Shichibukai, but he would say, I'm particularly
World building.
interested in the
Jungle
skilled
Queen.
duelists amongst their ranks.
Ah,
And when I heard that you were, well, when I surmised that you were going after them, I couldn't resist.
going
well.
after Foghorn then.
Do we know?
Foghorn is
Much-
the greatest swordsman in the world.
I see.
I will take him down.
Apparently.
And we assume, like, no one's ever lived to talk about him in a fight. We just know, like, Foghorn just... People have gone and challenged him, and Foghorn's still around, and they ain't. So... That's what we know.
Very well. Well,
What is the word? I don't remember. What's the thing that can happen to swords?
What?
That he was the
What?
when we were making this character Bardic, his aspiration
Okay,
is to
So, your swords are graded in the One Piece world. They have a Mako grade, and that is it's just like how good they are as a weapon. And obviously, if they're made by an amazing smith, they certain tier. But then the highest level, of which there is only a certain number, I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head.
I can look it up.
Yeah, but there's only a certain number of Saijo or Wazamono, which are like the best weapons in the world. These are not crafted, these are made by their wielder. Like a person who wields one of these swords, and they themselves have enough ambition, they themselves achieve enough impressive feats in their life, their blade becomes recognized as a Saijo or Wazamono. It's like the highest grade of sword in the world. Which in One Piece doesn't literally mean a sword, it can be a club. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I will break Foghorn's blade and take its place.
some big aspirations. Definitely.
There's 12. That's how many there are.
So
Whether
whether it's right or wrong, this character believes that since there's only 12 slots, the way to get one is to destroy
Kill someone else. Yeah.
one of the ones that's in the slot, and then
that's-
he could take it.
That's a pretty fair assumption, actually.
I mean, to be the greatest swordsman, and you can't really prove it unless you actually beat one of them. So, I mean, it makes sense to me. Fits right in with this crew with their big aspirations.
If you don't
Okay.
aim high, then what are you?
Sheep.
True enough. Could you just do me a favor and fill this out for me really quickly?
Morality test.
Yes.
Have you done it already?
No,
For Wick?
not for
Okay.
Wick. No, he's no, thank you.
Yeah, gonna need you to go ahead and fill this out.
He looks at Merc. Oh, the captain, right?
Yes.
Is this an order?
Looks at data.
You did not. Motions
No,
to
but I highly
Jimmy.
recommend it.
Motions to Jimmy. Nods more.
Okay. How long do you plan on staying with us?
Well, I can't let you beat me to Foghorn.
So, a while.
Be the intent.
Yes.
Yes.
Then you must fill this out.
Very well. and I will do that real quick. But yeah, so he's nods. I'll work on that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
follow you.
So, Captain, I will leave you to deciding what he does. I will go try to gather some information in town and hopefully not get contact high.
Good luck. Oh, do you might need some.
Oh, yes.
stuff.
I promised food.
Yeah.
He's gonna go look for Gam Gam.
Gam Gam will have already like. She heard
She
it.
probably heard it. Yeah.
She heard it. You go find her. She opens the kitchen door and she's got a collection of bento
Big basket?
boxes. No, just some bento
Bento.
boxes, perfectly made. Although, so they've got traditional like Japanese bento in, but they also have like small peanut butter and jelly sandwiches cut into tiny, perfect triangles.
So you can see Wick takes the test and just goes down the middle, going.
It's valid.
Hey, Frankie,
Yes.
while we're gone, help Gam Gam gather supplies. They've got some massive bananas here.
I saw. You see that he's got a massive banana in his hand.
It's got like a whole cluster of bananas.
Because as I said, this tree like overhangs, so you can from your boat just pick fruit out of it.
Especially considering he's a long arm.
Yeah, he just goes. And
Bananas.
he's just taken like a handful of banana and just munching on it a little bit.
So Wick
Real
has
good.
completed the test, but it is dubious as to whether he actually read it or not.
Data. No, this tells Data everything he needs to know.
Probably a little bit more. All right. So a little bit of time will pass. Enough time for you to go and find your new NPC friend, who probably needs a name. Well, what do we want to call this guy?
Bong water.
Oh my god, no.
No.
Um,
Dave. Dave's not here, man.
I like Dave, but I'm just trying to think. Well,
I feel like this island would name everything after like flowers or something.
yeah, they'd probably name it after
Dave Lilly.
What's your name, man? Bottle Cap. Pleasure to meet you.
It's just shit that the parents like looked at whenever the
So,
child was born.
I think everyone in this culture, they aren't named. They don't use conventional names. I think what they would do is they would name themselves after their passion, like what they are most invested in, what aspect of the world that like garners the most interest to them, and
How many of
what
them are
they-
named Weed?
Well, no, it's like a thing. So like, if someone's really into, say art, they love drawing or something like that, they'd probably name themselves Trace because they like to draw. Or, if someone's into painting and color, they'd probably call like Prism, or, literally just name themselves a color like blue. So they'll have like a given name by their parents, so they've got something to address. They can't, like, every child can't just be called Child or Blossoming Flower or whatever, but then they get to choose their own name. So I think this guy, he'll just call himself, I think the name he will have chosen for himself will be what is a good word for nature, because that's what he's into. He just loves
Say spirit?
nature.
Sucks.
Like, you know what? Yeah, this dude is he's named himself Gaia because he loves the earth. He loves nature. He loves everything about it. He's Gaia. So you'll go and find Gaia, who he was following this bug around. He sat down, he followed it, he drew it, he wrote everything he could about it, and Gaia is. If you looked at Gaia's notes, Gaia is fucking smart. Like, these are some intricate notes. marking the wingspan, marking the beats per minute in which this thing will flutter its wings, mark what food this bug will be attracted to or interested in. This guy, like, he studies, and he is good at it. And he's just sat cross-legged on a rock, just breathing in everything around him. One thing you would notice is the air here is very humid and almost, I don't want to say hot, but at the very least it is warm on the skin. It's almost as if you're in a perpetual steam room.
Much
Interesting.
comfortable.
It's comfortable.
He hates
Wick will do
Mark-
a. Sorry. Go.
Just gonna say, Merc hates the cold, but like this isn't bad.
Wick will quickly draw out his sword, like as if he were going to like attack the bug, but just hold the tip out to it. Which at this point, since it's sitting still, everyone would be able to see that it's a praying mantis. And it would climb onto the blade, and then like climb onto the like backside of the blade where no one can see it, and not crawl around the other side. It would just be gone, and he would put the sword back in its sheath.
Gaia looks
He's got
at
a
it
bug
as,
blade. What the hell?
that was wicked, dude.
Oh, did everybody come with me?
What if
Yeah.
that's
Certainly
what
not
we're
sitting on the ship doing nothing.
Oh, good. Okay. I thought I was
we were
gonna have
all
to deal with
going.
this myself.
I thought we were all going.
Yeah, everyone. Like, Data's like, I'll go sort it. And Data walks in and do that. Okay. And follows behind.
Off to fight the pirate warlord. Later. Later, Data. See you for supper.
So, you have found Gaia, who will properly introduce himself. He goes, by the way, my name's Gaia. Because, you know, nature, the earth is like, she's like a mother. And I want to be like her. I want to, like, help people.
What's the name of this island?
That's a real good question, dude. We don't really name it. It's just our home. So, you know, I guess like, we've called it lots of things. You know, we had a time of calling it Eden. There was a little bit of time where we called it Avalon. But personally, I just call it home, dude. Home Dude Island.
Home Dude Island, right. And this is what we're naming this island now.
Mhm.
Home Dude.
They name themselves after their passion, which amuses me to no end. Because that means that I would be murder.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm getting some.
That'd be interesting.
I'm getting some, you know, some dark vibes. Like, that's cool, man. You do you, but they're wigging me out something fierce. But it's cool, man.
So, Gaia, you mentioned that you happen to know where the Shichibukai went on this island.
Yeah. She obviously doesn't like dock here. Poor, it'd be pretty obvious that if she did, it'd be like, well, you know, like you. Yeah. I don't know. She thinks she was docked on the other side. Like, you know, it's sort of like a whole jungle ordeal. You know, jungle, rainforest. Yeah, just nature is bouncy, dude. So we can go for a little hike. She popped into town one time, and you know she tried to kick up a storm, but you know we all just like, here, do you want some bananas? And she wasn't super interested in bananas, but we told her if she wanted to like, you know, see some stuff like she can hang out by the mountain. There's some wicked cool. Well, I guess they're wicked hot springs. So I think she might have gone there. She definitely seems like really wanted to like explore, which I think is cool, man. You know, exploring, understanding. So I don't know. I did also tell her, you know, that, like, you know, how to get bottoms up, which I think that grabbed her attention.
Okay. Interesting. Also, just a note, just because did Jimmy bring the zombie?
Zombie is in my room.
Oh, okay.
Hot
He is
zombie,
not-
no.
He is not ruining the vibe, man.
Well, let's go on a hike then. Let's hike through the
Yeah.
jungle.
Alright. Nice. We'll do a little hike it. Oh, yeah, you got my trail mix, dude. He pulls up this, like, baggie that is just filled with essentially M&Ms. And, like, it's all M&Ms, a
Just
couple of
M&Ms.
peanuts, and some pretzels. It's real good.
Data will hand him a box and say, Gam made
Although, since it's so warm, it's probably just one large.
Oh god.
Or chunk of chocolate with like a candy chunk.
Yeah, so it's like one large M&M with a few bits of granola and pretzels and nuts in it, and he just unzips a baggie and pushes it out the top and takes a little nibble. You awesome, dude. It's
It's actually what I do with Reese's Pieces.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Like on purpose. That's amazing.
1
So
second. The stream just
yeah, lead the way.
1 moment. The stream disconnects again. My internet is not my
Oh,
friend
no.
today. All right. Hiking time. Can I like get your guys' names? I should probably do that. Like, obviously, I can see you're like with the man, which I'm cool with you if you're cool with me, dude.
Don't do anything wrong, and we have no reason to fight.
I mean, who defines what is and isn't right or wrong?
Do you really
And the
think
government does.
Do you really think killing somebody that doesn't deserve it is wrong?
Oh, I
Or is right?
disagree with murder as a concept, because all life is sacred, dude.
So you think that ending life would be wrong?
Yeah,
So
Right.
you determined something that's right and wrong.
me.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
I mean, yeah.
If you do something that is like seeming that you might think we don't like, ask first.
All right. I'm gonna light up. Is that cool, dude?
Go ahead.
No. Anyone want some?
No. Thank
I'll
you.
pass.
What about you, little dude? And the quiet one, does he talk much? The one who clearly looks like he's been up to something?
One that smells.
Yeah,
Dude,
I was like, that's still vague.
Yeah, like, I don't want to be mean, but the one who's got like a pretty potent odor.
Yeah, he
What
almost.
was the question?
It's almost as bad as you.
I was asking if you wanted to share. It was like,
No.
No? Alright.
You do you, man. We're
Jimmy's
fine.
like, that's too mild for me.
Give me some of that gam cocoa.
I need some good shit.
Alright, so he gets the biggest, fattest blunt. Just, oof. It smells potent.
I'm gonna put on both my masks.
And,
Data's like, I've been training for this my entire life.
and, he says he's ready for a nature hike. He's got like a little backpack on, but he has still not put shoes on. He is still doing it in these little straw sandals, and he just
Merc doesn't wear shoes either.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Neither does Data.
and he starts walking right on
These are
into
for people who
this-
touch the ground.
and he just starts walking into this massively overgrown, like, jungle rainforest environment. I might say massively overgrown, like a single leaf is bigger than any of you. And he just like walks up to it and he just like he lifts
Even
it
me?
up. Yeah.
That's a big fucking leaf.
Yeah, big fucking leaves.
Um,
And he just like lifts it up and it's heavy, but he just like and he's holding it, arm shaking it. Come on, dudes, it's in here.
I got it.
Yeah, you take it. It's got a hefty weight to it. You know, it's no wonder these people have not felt the need to industrialize, because the raw materials here are sturdy. Like, if you were to make something out of one of these leaves, that's probably as sturdy as if you made it out of, you know, some kind of... Like, if you got enough of these leaves and...
Silicone.
Yeah. If you slathered them in, like, a paste, they'd be, like, as sturdy as concrete. Like, the raw materials here are just as powerful, if not more powerful, than manufactured stuff elsewhere in the world. You know, like,
Could probably make some pretty potent medicines.
you know, so like a bamboo straw here, that's as capable as like work steel scaffolding.
Ow. If I was an
Good stuff.
inventor, that would be cool.
Maggie would be like, all right, cool. Let's build a sawmill.
Build something here. Let's build a sawmill, get it all down. We're remaking the boat.
Let's
Yeah.
let's destroy this island.
Yes. Yeah, she'd be like, all right, cool. You all need jobs. Let's employ you losers.
All right. So as you're going through the rainforest, you very quickly start to get the sensation of just how small you are. If you were to scale yourselves, you are...
This isn't new.
Yeah. You would feel...
You're a small creature, aren't you?
Yes.
So, just for scale here, you feel approximately about the same size as a mouse would in a regular-sized rainforest. Just scurrying between leaves and... like... So you'll catch
Y'all are mice. I'm a squirrel.
you'll catch a glimpse of like a snake just slithering past, and this snake could easily eat you in one bite. He just slithers on by.
Data's like, this feels familiar.
Wick just like stares at the snake as it goes past, just like daring it to break eye contact.
The snake just glances you, and at that point you see Gaia just lift his hands up and go, and unleashes this giant wave of smoke, at which point the snake's eyes kind of glaze over and it just goes on its way. Got it, dude. I got this.
This foliage is oppressive.
Would
Would you like to ride on my shoulder?
Yes.
Grab a couple hands out. Hop in.
Better than...
Down there.
Yes. There are thorns that could kill people.
And as you say that, you see Gaia he's just pulled apart like some overgrowth, and you see him just break off like a rose thorn. So it's got a slight curvature to it, and he just starts to he's basically fashioning it into like a makeshift saw. He goes, "Nice, yeah. We only take what we need. The way of the land, man."
Those thorns definitely seem to be good tools.
Yeah, we use them when we need to, and then we just let them be.
So where is your village?
We were in there, dude. We walked through it.
Oh, I thought we were on the dock still, and then we just walked into the jungle.
No, you met him in the village. Village.
I see.
Although to most of us it probably doesn't look like a village.
No, there's.
Probably a couple lean-tos, maybe one small campfire,
Yeah.
bunch of dudes smoking,
I mean, there
some guy drawing.
was one massive campfire, an almost ever-burning bonfire, as one could call it. But other than that, buildings weren't really buildings. They're kind of just fashioned out of whatever was naturally there. So they're like hollowed out part of a tree, or
Sometimes just convenient bushes.
convenient, but what someone had an outrageously large banana they fashioned into a house.
It's like a perfectly trimmed hedge, but the bottom is hollowed out.
Yeah, Pretty much. Like, to say these people are at one with nature is an understatement. Like,
There you go, man. I mean,
So where
It
the
works.
heck are we going?
oh, we're heading out. Wait. Alright, how good are all you lot at climbing? Because it's probably better if we get up and I can show you.
Data floats into the air. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good.
That's friggin' dope, dude. I can only fly on my dream.
I'm pretty good.
not favored, but it is a strength-based skill, so...
I turn into claw form and I just burrow my way up.
Whoa, dude! You're like an animal! You're so at nature, dude. You like have embraced your inner being, man.
He's a Zoan. He's a
Sure. Sure.
The skunk is a noble creature, dude.
Meanwhile, I guess I'll just grab... perfect. Just hop my way up a tree with a natural 20. Climb roll.
Yeah, you just like grab it. Like you just find like a vine and you just cut it and fling yourself up. Like you don't even climb, you just propel.
Just Pirates of the Caribbean. Just
Data will hold a hand out to Gaia like need a lift.
It's cool, dude. He takes the sword he fashioned and he breaks the thorn and he just jams it into the bottom of his shoes and he just walks up the side of a tree, like perfectly flat, just walking up it casually.
I will
Some strong
draw my
ankles and
sword
knees.
and like tap it onto one of the trees, at which 4 legs will sprout out of the blade. And I just hold on to the sword as it climbs.
What is with this sword of yours? It can spawn bugs and climbing legs? What in the world?
Are you actually asking him?
Yes.
Only the best blade for the best swordsman.
Just silence.
Mhm.
Doesn't everyone's sword do this?
No!
Oh no!
That
Oh.
one climb check.
Only the best sword for the best swordsman.
My sword is not feeling like it. Well, no, so what it ends up doing is it ends up climbing up there and I will
it's gone.
lose my grip. And it continues to go.
I love the image of only the best sword. It's already gone. And
It climbs just right out of his hand.
Yeah.
Like, oh, whoops.
I whistle and it would just like detach and fall back into my sheath.
Do you need a lift?
Apparently.
All right.
So I could cut the tree down.
Fly out. Let's not do that, maybe.
Right, so this is like a full hike, or like climbing up a cliff face essentially, and so it takes an hour to get up this tree alone.
So
That's a big tree.
It's a big
Data
tree.
would start like aggressively tapping his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can fly, so he's like, this is boring. I could just be up there right now.
I feel like I'm the first one up there because I slingshotted myself up.
Yeah, I mean, for this tree is about a mile high.
Oh my god.
Like, it's big, and so you get up to the top and you sit there, and you're above the canopy, and you can see that as you look out over the horizon, you can see a quite sizable mountain. Now, what's really strange about this mountain is that as it hits its peak, it essentially starts again, but going the other way. So there are 2 mountain peaks that touch each other. One from the ground and one that seems to go into the sky.
What?
Yeah.
I misunderstood
trouble
that the first time.
visualizing
Now I
this.
get it. There is another mountain, basically, that fell from the sky, like, as to describe it, and then they merged, touching tip to tip.
Yep. So there are two mountains, and the peaks touch. One is from the ground, and one is from the sky. So one is down here, one is up here.
Like there's an island up in the sky that's upside down, and it's mountain.
Yeah.
You cannot
Okay.
see what if it is attached to a landmass or not, but you can see a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like an hourglass type shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's
I
odd.
was just sitting here having trouble trying to visualize it. It was like they touch tips and then they go around and make another one, so there's like a hole here? No.
I was just thinking Mount St. Helens.
No, it's literally a triangle.
Like
and then another-
like it was a crater.
Yeah. But no,
No.
okay, yeah. That's very interesting. Very neat.
And what you can see, even from here, is that mountain over there. It has such a wide base that it almost covers the entire island and further afield. And it is now apparent where all the snow has been falling from. It's been falling off of this other mountain.
The mountain that is upside down,
Yep.
but yet it seems snow can somehow fall off of it.
Data
Gravity is weird.
Data will look up. So there was an island up there.
Guy goes, I don't know, dude. No one's been to the top.
Well,
long has it been
yes,
there?
you would have to climb an inverse incline.
As long as I know, it's just been there. It's like, it's just there. That's bottoms up, dude.
That's bottoms up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Rookie
Captain,
data just-
shall we?
hmm.
Well, Shishibukai have infinite egos, so that's definitely where they've gone.
I like to imagine
As a friend of Yozora, I can say this is true.
I was gonna say there's probably like a weird, like, almost earthquake occurring every few seconds.
Who knows?
I mean, it's strange. It looks so painfully unnatural, but it doesn't seem to have any repercussions on anything.
This reeks of devil fruit.
But it's old. Can
Some-
islands eat devil fruits?
I don't know. Wait, can swords eat devil fruits?
Yes.
What's a devil fruit?
So what makes him fly and him turn into a skunk?
Oh.
Data turns his hand into wind.
Cyclone, technically.
Huh. I just thought you were like super at one with nature or something.
I mean, yeah.
Well, wind is a power of nature.
And, like
And-
you were like one with the wind, and you had unleashed your inner like animal, like. You know. I thought that's what was going on. Like, so like what? This is just like anybody can do it. Like you just what? You just find a fruit and like what? Do you plant it? Do you like touch it? Do you like?
Eat it.
Eat it. It just
It
has to be a
tastes
very
horrible, though.
specific fruit, and they usually taste bad.
Interesting that they don't have any, considering that is probably their prime fruit is probably their primary.
I've eaten a lot of fruit,
Substance.
and I've never like no, I've never seen like had magic power. One time I ate a fruit and I passed out for like 3 days, but that was it.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, devil fruits are rare, and this place is huge, so who knows?
The devil fruit spawned here. Would it be massive?
Would you have to eat the whole thing?
No,
You
it's
only have
just
to
one
eat
bite.
one bite of a devil fruit to gain its power.
What happens if two people eat one bite of the same fruit?
We already discussed this like 18 times.
So
Yeah.
what happens is even then, if two people bite it at the exact same time, it still goes to who got there a fraction of a second sooner. In the Ace light novel, Ace and his first mate, Master Deuce, they both take a bite of a Meramerinomi at the same time, but Ace had it just a fraction of a second sooner and got the power, and Master Deuce just ate a piece of rotten fruit.
I see. I love how his name was Mass Deuce.
Masked Deuce, because he is masked number 2. Because Ace's
Oh,
whole...
masked.
Yeah.
There's a K there.
Yeah.
See, I kept just hearing Mass and then thinking Mass Deuce. I thought it was a giant shit.
Ace's whole crew is card themed, so he's the Ace, his number 2 is the Deuce, and...
Alright.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyhoozle. Yeah, so that's where the guy appointed the pirate lady, who he thought was super fucking cool.
So no one has gone up there that you're aware of?
No, not that I know, dude.
Well, I suggest we keep going. Who wants to take the elevator?
Wait, what?
Bubble coral.
Okay, so
Oh
theoretically,
yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
so are you just gonna make this and like roll across the canopy to reach there? Or are you just gonna start trying to fly?
No, we could just fly.
I doubt you could probably all just fly. Because of how bubbly coral works. Like, you need to be within a certain environment for it to manifest fully like that. You could,
But
however...
it's in a very wet environment.
The way it works on Sabaody is it's a soapy environment that allows it to do that. This is a human environment. I don't know if that would work. You could probably make a bubble and then hamster ball across the top of the trees.
Why don't
I was
we
thinking
just...
actually is that like, why don't we just float up because Data can fly and push us with wind power?
You most certainly could... You could probably do that. You could probably head towards the mountain. I don't know...
Or we could use him, and he points at Jimmy.
Bardic,
Yes.
I could burrow through the wind.
That's not how that works.
Yeah. That works at all.
It would be
Burrow
worth a
through air
shot.
particles,
Not how it
causing
works.
nuclear explosions behind you
I am the most deadly force.
as you split atoms as you burrow through them.
Well, it wouldn't split the atoms, but you would be creating a vacuum right behind you, creating massive cavitations.
All right, so Data will look up. He'll try to gauge the distance.
So bear in mind, you're already a mile high on the tree. And even just the bottom mountain, that still towers above these trees, easily 5,000 meters, maybe more.
Data would turn and to the captain and be like, honestly, it's best we just climb normally. I could fly us all up there relatively quickly, but a change in altitude that sudden would be pretty bad for almost
Everyone.
everyone here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go horizontal then, and we'll work.
Me
our
and
way up.
Zor could probably me and Zor could probably handle it because we've been on Sky Islands before, but
Plus now, you get to have a lovely jaunt through over a treetop canopy, which
This is about as high as Merc has ever gone, other than when we were on Reverse Mountain.
weirdly, because of how all the trees have interlaced, you can essentially just walk over these, and it's almost like walking through a field or a meadow because of the trees. So
Very
it's almost
heavy, big leaves.
yeah, the leaves, and even on top here, they have started to form a new biosphere. So down below, it's like a jungle. Up here, it is like a meadow. So there'll be grass, and there's even like animals that live up here. So like you'll see. I mean, they have adjusted to living above trees, but you'll see something that vaguely resembles a pig, but it might have like not wings that work, but stuff that would, assist in it from falling. So it would have like large flaps of skin, kind of like a flying squirrel, so it could catch itself from falling. And its its trotters would probably be adept at climbing, so it could get back up to safety. And flowers and plants would grow up here. They would be designed to have like floating roots, because everything is designed to live on this floating canopy, essentially.
Data will also look up. I think there might actually be a sky island up there. Looks like it should be high enough.
Hmm.
Which would explain the mountain.
Doesn't explain that it's upside down, though.
Sky islands are weird.
Do you think a sky island fell ages ago, but it had enough residual sky powerness to just stay there?
Or someone knocked one down.
Or it technically is floating, and it's just floating very low.
It could be like a really big stalagmite or something. Whatever.
And this whole island here is a stalactite.
Data shrugs. You two are the scientists, not me.
I'm into biology, not geology.
That's science. Close enough.
And Jimmy's like, I'm a chemist. I don't know what this is.
Again, scientists. Close enough.
What the fuck? If anybody would know anything about this, the closest person would probably be Wave.
Wave would probably have the smartest level of estimations. One would.
Yeah, Maggie would just say, "Well, I could tell you how to knock it down."
I have enough explosives.
Okay, so you can take this long, lovely walk across this treetop canopy. It's very pleasant. There's lots of nice things. If you were less edgy bastards, you could probably go, this is basically paradise. Like, nothing seems aggressive, nothing seems invasive. Like, everything here it's basically perfect.
Just imagining like any predators, like that snake we passed. Like if they're hungry, they just open their mouth, and any like prey animals that are like about to die or just like don't feel like living anymore, they're just like, all right, I'm your food.
You know what? Yeah, you see exactly that. Walking across this meadow, you see, you see a T-Rex, just hanging out, just a T-Rex, just walking across this meadow, and you see a small pack of these weird tree climbing pigs. They just walk on up to it, and the T-Rex kind of lays down and opens its mouth, and they just go. And the T-Rex just walks off. That's business. Having a real.
That is the
good
most
time.
disturbing thing I've ever seen.
It's just life, man. Like, they had finished their journey, and now they're
No, that's
living
literally
on.
the opposite of life. That's death.
No, like, they lived their life, and they were cool with it. Like, they chose to do it. Just as that big lizard boy. He was like, yeah, for me to keep going, I need the sacrifice of another, and they're willing. Like, it's all cool, man.
Data will just float onwards. It's like,
Just keep walking.
Captain,
Data.
I highly suggest we leave the exact details of this place out of our report.
Very strange. We'll keep it condensed.
I mean, more so. The abundance of resources.
This place would
I
be
don't
destroyed.
think they pay taxes.
What's a
I don't-
tax?
I don't think the world government would ask for taxes.
Well,
They would just
yes,
destroy this whole place.
yes, that's what I meant.
All right, so you continue your walk. It takes a couple hours. It's definitely getting to early afternoon. By the time you start to reach the end of this canopy, and you start to find the terrain is going to transition from this jungle you've been walking on top of to definitely more of a craggy, rocky outlook. And as you reach the other side, you see the open ocean, and docked in a small natural cliffside is quite a large ship. And you see that a camp has been built around there, And one thing definitely stands out, and you can see it even from here, is there is a very large giant who they're just kind of hanging out. And this is still
The
a
path
good...
to victory is blocking off your enemy's escape.
Wait, what?
I'm concerned about who this is.
Just a giant. Yeah, you just see like a giant humanoid-shaped body just sat near this boat around like a little campsite, and you're way off. Like you're at the top of these trees, so you're like a mile above the ground. You can see down, and they're below the ground level because they're actually in a at the bottom of a cliff face. But you can still make out this pretty massive-looking dude.
Are they armed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a club or a sword or axe or something?
Red?
Just a really big stick.
I'll take them.
So, well, what is your method of approach? Like, you know that is a pirate ship. It is obviously a pirate ship. They are flying a Jolly Roger. You know there's at least one person there.
Orders, Captain.
Get closer.
Hey, good.
We need to see who they are.
I got that. I'm going to roll move silent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
32.
Yeah, 32 is real heckin' good.
So yeah, I'll sort of scout ahead. Using my dark clothing and extremely good stealth skills to get as close as I can without being spotted.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see anything more detailed now that I'm closer as far as identifying marks or whatever on the character?
Yeah. So, if we say, okay, so you all got down from a canopy, and you managed to get ahead, and let's say you're at the top of the cliff face, you've snuck there, so no one's seen, and you're hiding, you're looking down. You see a decent number of people, clearly not the entire crew. Because the number of people there are clearly not enough to pilot this whole ship. But, obviously the giant is the one that stands out the most. There appears to be someone who at least looks as if they're a doctor. They have all the marks of claiming to be a doctor. And I would say they look rather agitated at the whole thing. Oh gosh, I'm not trying to remember shit.
Well, I'd kind of note down whatever I can, then return to the group and report in and say, there's no need to fight them if you don't wish. I could get on their ship and blow the magazine, disable it.
If you were wanting to scout out and listen in, you would hear that, some of the people there are definitely agitated and a little bit bored. They've probably been here a little bit too long, and they can't leave because the captain hasn't returned. So you know that much.
Yes, this is the guarding party to protect their ship. But I could get past them and scuttle the ship, if you wish.
Theta shrugs. I mean, I don't see why not.
I don't know if a scuttle is necessary, but disable would be nice.
See what I can do. Should I roll again for move silently, or use that same?
maintain the same one just for ease, because I don't see the point in rolling the same thing twice in a row. So yeah, you can hop on down. Rin,
Yeah, hold up. Yeah, I know. I'm already on it.
yeah, Rin, Nick, and Jimmy, if you wanna play over your.
Jimmy wasn't part of this.
Oh, Jimmy wasn't here. No, that was
It was Sawyer.
Dakota.
No.
So, Nick, Rin, if you wanna try and be aware of stuff with some other things.
Him? You know who we're talking about. Oh, never mind, I guess. Oh, wait, it's listen. What am I doing?
Oh, this character's level 1. I never made them proper levels.
Well, I did, so.
Well, what level are they supposed to be?
8.
8. So primary stuff is ranked, or favored is ranked 11.
Favored's ranked 11, and unfavored is ranked
5?
5. Yeah.
And obviously you would have
everything.
had 2 stat point increases.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. For stat point increases, is it just 1 point or 2?
2.
2?
2, yeah.
Oh, well then there's only one thing for me to do here.
Put 4 in something.
But is it wisdom?
No. No, it is not.
Well, then it doesn't change anything for that particular roll.
Okay, yeah, no. You notice the giant is just kind of banging the stick on the ground.
Give me just a second. I don't know if I feel like there's other bonuses that would be at play for this character, but I'm not sure, so I'm just not quite.
Okay.
He's busy fidgeting with something in his hands, and also kind of just like he keeps glancing up at the giant. Would you stop?
So
Oh. No.
So I would sneak in and stay there for a bit as I set up traps inside of the ship.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to do your laugh quietly?
Yeah. I love how I can just hear it quietly in the background. He's
so I
amusing
need
himself.
to... Hang on 1 second. That's under...
Ah, dude, don't you get it? He's speaking softly and carrying a big stick.
Okay. So I need to roll trapping, and I need to beat a 20.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you want to just carry that roll for all the traps I set, or should I do one for each one?
For ease, just do the one. It just
Okay.
makes life a little bit easier.
All right, so I'm going to set down a few tension cables with poison gas attached to them, and a couple pressure plates with crossbow traps attached to them. And yeah, that's what I will do. I'll be gone for maybe 6 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got all these traps set.
And then sneak away.
You just run the truck away because noping out of that one. All right. Yeah. So you've got all that set up.
Oh, and I'll set one fire trap.
Doctor! Doctor!
What? What do you need this time?
I'm bored.
Find something to do.
I did, but then you told me to stop.
Go do something quietly.
Okay. And he starts humming, but he's so big that it causes the ground to shake.
Stop. Build a sand castle
Where's the sand?
by the dock.
He his hands are so big that like the sand on the beach can fit between them. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Make a replica of that. Point that bottoms up.
He starts making a 1-to-1 scale.
I mean, I suppose if you wanted sand, you could, like, pop yourself in the water and just, like, extend out the,
Oh, yeah, okay, so here's what he's gonna
stretch
do.
the cliffside out.
Yeah. He's gonna reach out into the water, pick up a clump of sand, carry it back, which will then cause enormous amounts of water to splash everywhere.
Is that enough to trigger off any of the traps?
No. They're not sensitive traps. They require either someone to open a door or for them to stand on a particular place.
Okay. So, unless someone goes onto a ship, those traps
There was a
aren't
different
going
type of trap that's more sophisticated I could have taken, but I didn't put that down.
No, that makes absolute perfect sense. So, I believe eventually, like, it wouldn't take that long. Like, people aren't just gonna sit in this little campsite all the time. They'll go in and out of a ship fairly often. I believe eventually someone would go and these traps would be triggered. So, what happens when at least one of the traps is triggered?
So the main thing is there's a pressure trap if anyone goes into the magazine that will drop a firebomb onto all of the gunpowder.
Yeah, so the ship basically explodes. At least a good sizable chunk of it is blown out.
Doctor!
What?
Our ship exploded.
I noticed.
What did you do?
I did nothing.
Oh no,
Haven't
that
moved.
was definitely one of those weird, I don't know, fire boom thingies. That's you. That's a thing you do.
What have I done that makes you think that was me?
Are you talking about that time you gave everyone that virus that made their blood set on fire? Or maybe that time those people didn't pay you when you treated them, so you burned their mansion down? Or there was that other time when you blew up that really big tree because you thought it would be funny, and it was.
I think you're confusing me for someone else because I only did the first and the third thing. I didn't do the second thing.
Oh, maybe that was me. Wait, but I'm not a doctor. Hey, you're trying to blame me for your stuff again, aren't you?
No, I'm pretty sure that was Igneal. It was neither of us.
Oh, that would make sense. Cool. Well, I guess.
Ship's
Call
still
the
on
captain.
fire.
The ship
Should we
is still on
do
fire.
something about that, or?
Yes, use your big giant being a giant thing and get water on the ship. I'm gonna
But
call
what
the
if
captain.
what if it's a chemical fire? You told me not to put water on those.
It's not a chemical fire.
How do you know?
Way too explosive for a chemical fire. That was
So
gunpowder.
you did do it.
This is amazing.
Isn't Drake's intelligence like 4?
His intelligence is 8 and his wisdom is 6.
Yeah.
Also, like around that time, someone would go to the helm. They'd stand there, and then immediately, just out of the floor, a puff of poison gas would hit them.
Yeah, so just random crewmate number 7 just drops straight up dead.
Ha! That's what you get, Timmy.
He deserved it. Also, I think that was Tommy.
Oh, I always get them confused.
They're twins, so it happens.
Not anymore.
Hey, good luck, Timmy. You're an only child now.
So, did anybody go with the captain on their excursion? Or,
Randos and maybe Igneal.
or do we think the captain just went off on her own to do her own shit?
Oh. I don't know what the captain's up to. I don't know what she's doing.
Well, essentially, you were pointed in the direction of bottoms up and told no one's ever done that. And your captain likes to win. Your captain likes to, you know, be in charge. Likes competition. If someone says,
Infinite ego.
yeah, if someone says no one's done that, she goes, yet.
Yet.
Or goes, challenge.
Drake will
fucking
stand
accept.
up
So that's what your captain is currently doing.
and look up a little bit and Captain! Somebody blew up our ship. Can I kill them?
And you know what? You don't get a response, and my internet's crashed out again. Wonderful. Clap, clap, clap for me. My internet has been an absolute butthole this whole day for some reason. So, well, where I was before everything went iffy.
So those two characters just argue while the ship continues to burn.
Oh yeah, and
Paul's
Drag.
obviously trapped. Doctor's too smart to go into the obviously trapped ship,
to
and
go
Drake's
in.
too stupid to be like, should I fix that?
That sounds about right. So Drake has screamed up. There's a couple of moments of silence, followed by what can only be described as the loudest lion's roar. Just like, yeah. So if this was drawn in a manga, there'd be Drake shouting, and then it'd be an image of just the mountain zoomed out, and then just like a giant roar covering the entire thing. Like you could hear this roar miles away. Like, if you were like out in the middle of the ocean, you could hear this roar. And
Lord.
Marines. What is
Meanwhile, Merc and company back at the tree are just like fucking loud.
so? What is Marines? What is your one sentence reaction to that giant roar?
What's happening?
So Dreg just
It's very
shouted,
loud.
and then there's a lion's roar, not of the same volume because it's further away, but you're like, that's from quite a way away. That came from the mountain, and we could hear it down here. So, what is your like reaction panel? Like how?
I know a lot of people have been blaming me for shit, but that is not my fault.
We gotten ourselves into this time.
Maybe we won't have to climb the mountain. Maybe the giant will just fight it for us.
Fight the mountain.
And Data finishes off. Last panel.
God damn it.
Perfect.
All right, that is perfect.
As another crew member gets shot by a crossbow in their own ship.
Yeah, just Timmy, no. All right. So
Well, at least you get to be with your brother.
we are gonna wrap it on up there for the day. So huge thank you for everybody for tuning in. Huge thank you to the players. I am the Bardic Knock. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. This was stuff. We're gonna have to try and organize things for next week. Not next week, next session for stuff to occur. So keep an eye out for that. There's gonna be fun and interesting stuff abound. Nick, who have you been?
I have been playing as Mercurius Thorak, who's the captain of the Marines, but I also play as Dr. Jeremy Doctor. He's both the title and his name is Doctor. Yes. Doctor. And that's going to be fun next time, I'm assuming, because I'm going to be playing two people, as is Rin, and so is Dakota is also going to be playing a second character. But that will probably not be the next normal time because 2 weeks from now is Christmas Day, so
It is?
I don't think we'll be playing that day.
Oh shit! Will it land directly on Christmas?
It lands directly on Christmas Day.
Okay.
2 weeks from
Goddamn.
2 weeks from today is the 25th.
That
So,
is-
but we will be back on the 8th.
You know what? That's actually good. That gives me more time to organize stuff. Awesome. I didn't realize that.
Gives me
lined up
time
with
to
the show.
make a fucking level 8 character. And, Bardic, we have to make my fucking devil fruit tree because I'm a Zoan.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. It'll be fine. Yeah. There's that. Anything else, Nick?
Catch me Monday on Bardic's channel here for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Along with Dakota and our friend Teddy.
It's a whole lot of fun. All right, wonderful. Shogun, who have you been?
Been Wick, wielder of the Mantis Zoan Blade.
See, his blade is a devil fruit. That's interesting.
No sneaky things here.
No?
It's very interesting. Fanciest sword.
Anything else?
And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm around barely because I've been sick and still am.
Check out Cryogun.
Yeah, I stream. We were gonna stream today, except my streaming partner's power went out as of this morning and still is not back.
Uh-oh.
That's not so much fun.
Is that the one that's going through Kentucky area?
Yes, I believe he's in Michigan.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
There was
the
supposedly a
US.
huge stretch of tornado hits last night.
It was due to strong winds, so maybe.
We'll see.
Not pleasant.
But you don't live on the East Coast. Because you're constantly being hit by hurricanes that Europe is just throwing over.
Yeah, and yet we don't get any. To go, no. You have them.
No, you push them that way.
Nah.
Spawn in the middle of the Atlantic and then
Yeah.
just come at us.
See, that's why I continue to say that Washington is the best state, because if you are on the eastern coast, you get hit by hurricanes. If you're on the southwestern coast, you get hit by all of the earthquakes.
A big chunk of the central is tornadoes.
Yes, tornadoes, and it's just baking hot.
You're just rain.
Or at least you're far from the ocean, so your seasons are extreme. Like, if you've ever been to Colorado, they have a blazing hot summer and also dangerously cold winters at the same time.
Most of my family's in Kansas. I know all about that. 120-degree summers and
I went
1
to
degree,
Colorado.
like 0 degrees.
And they had frozen waterfalls that are like frozen every single year, so much that people go there to competitively frozen waterfall climb.
Your entire country is just a natural disaster. You should be concerned about this.
No,
Nah,
no,
we're
but see, the thing is, the whole Oregon Trail and everything was just trying to get to Washington, where everything is good.
Even though it's called the Oregon Trail, not the Washington Trail.
Well, yeah, no, they got to Oregon, they're like, this is almost good. Keep going a little bit farther.
Alright. So that is Shogun. James, who have you been?
I have been Jimmy. I think I did well on that test. I think I made a solid B. So that's uplifting. And yeah, I'm on and off thinking that I might start streaming or posting videos on YouTube. Not sure if I do. It will be Owen264. If I don't, then you won't find it, and fuck off.
Alright.
You're so rude to our audience.
You told me. Wrap us up.
You got another 4 sessions before your next What's Wrong With You.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's it for me.
Rain, what's going
So-
on?
I need this update. Where do you exist now?
What do I exist?
Where do you exist?
Well, I think Radio Shack is like fully done for now. So,
I mean, at this point, GameStop's going that way.
I thought GameStop was like making a comeback.
It had one. I don't know if it's still not writing it or if it's coming
But
down.
see, people know that GameStop exists, so like.
And there's one in every city.
Oh,
There was
you know
not
what?
a Radio Shack in every city.
You know where I am? I'm gonna go to, man, see, it's perfect because I can't even think of the name right now. But, shit, what was it called?
Circuit City.
No.
Are we moving away from
Blockbuster.
electronics?
Yeah,
That's fine.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
Yes.
That's what I was even thinking of.
That's
There's
fine.
like there's like two left, isn't there?
Yeah, they're like, here, you want vintage VHSs?
VHSs.
Yeah, Blockbuster. That's where I live now.
All right, and with that, we're
Lovely.
gonna wrap it on up. So
We sell laser discs.
Oh wow. Oh. Ugh. Technology is weird, but we're gonna wrap it on up. So until next time, everybody, stay safe and happy adventures. Bye bye.
Bye bye.